For bearing with us. We only lost 10 minutes here. Welcome to Transportation Options for People with IDDD in South Jersey. I am thrilled to present Reliant Care, Wheelin to Go, ZipRide, Excellent Trans Care, and Access Link tonight. We are going to allow each of our speakers 5 minutes for their presentations. Then we're going to go into a moderated Q&A.
Oh no.
We're going to do a moderated Q&A with the questions that you submitted in advance. Each of the speakers today has had a chance to review those. So I know that we will try and get to as much of this as we can. Please know that the webinar is being recorded and will be available on Durand's website, www.durandinc.org, probably next week. I want to tell you that I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go through each of the slides. And I'm going to ask each presenter, I'm going to ask each presenter to go in the order of the slide. All right. So for about 45 minutes, we're going to do those panelist presentations, do the moderated Q&A until about 7:15, and then 7:15 to 7:30. If we have time, we'll do open Q&A. I'm thinking I might create a second transportation options webinar for us to continue this discussion. Because in the end, I would like you to have a good side-by-side comparison on a spreadsheet, because I think that would be really the best way to compare. And I thank you so much for agreeing to be a presenter today. Nathaniel, if you will unmute yourself and present about Reliant Care Transport.
Absolutely. And thank you for putting this together.
You're welcome.
Yeah, right now I'm seeing the Durand screen. Is our slide?
The slide is up. I'm keeping control of the screen share.
I guess on my end, I'm just not seeing it, but that's fine.
Oh,
nobody can see it.
Really?
Nobody can see it.
Okay, hold on. I'll make sure. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Make sure that we have some sharing going on here. All right. All right. Sorry, it's so small. See if I can make that a little bigger. Okay. Right. Can you see it now?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
No,
I can see it.
I can see
yes.
it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay. Can you see it now?
I just navigated forward to like page slide 5. So maybe if for someone who can't see it, if they have that option in the bottom left corner, they could do the same.
Okay. Slide 5, if you can navigate to that. Is that better?
I believe so. All right, great.
It's so weird. Okay.
No worries.
Sorry.
No problem at all.
Right.
But again, thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak with everyone and just tell everybody a little bit more about our company and how we started. So we started Reliant Care Transport back in 2024. I am the owner. My name is Nathaniel Garvey. Alongside and also on this call is my partner, Alan. So we originally started in 2024 working with Uber and Lyft services. We wanted to come into this space and provide a fresh approach to the way transportation was being provided at the time. And we thought starting with Uber and Lyft services, we would be able to help as many people throughout the entire state rather than just starting in a specific area. We're from northern New Jersey area, Bergen County. So in that, we started off with providing weekly reports, letting the user or the individual know how many miles were used the previous week for transparency reasons. Also, for those who rather not have to schedule the rides themselves through their own phone, we were able to schedule rides for them with advance notice. We also tracked any unused miles because any miles that are not used in their plan will roll over and be available for future use. And that was something just speaking to some sport coordinators and families that they wanted as well at the time. As time progressed and we continued to grow, we began receiving inquiries regarding like door-to-door transport, or as we call it, our dedicated driver service. This was mainly for those who are not as comfortable using Uber and Lyft services. So we ended up starting that program later in 2024. And then within the year, fast forward to 2025, we also did launch our family driver program, which is the red banner on the slide. Mainly for what we believe is to pay parents or guardians just a more fair rate for driving their loved ones to and from community activities, especially, for example, like when you're driving someone 45, 50 minutes one way, right? So we're just trying to help out in that regard as well. So just to kind of wrap up our previous year in 2025, we completed over 16,000 rides, which we're very proud of and excited to be able to see like a direct impact in the service that we provide. This past year, as well as many of you probably know, is about the Acumen transition over the summer. So we fully went through that process. So we definitely believe we're well equipped to help anybody who still has questions regarding that still. And just working with your sport coordinator to get you on board with Acumen. So essentially, the way our service works for anyone who's looking for transportation services is you would give us a call looking into transportation. You would specifically be speaking with myself, and if for some reason I'm unavailable at that moment, you'll either speak with Alan or another member of our team. We would ask you some questions just to learn more about the specific transportation needs that you're looking for, and from there we would come to a decision and decide which program best suits yourself, right? So from there we would get in contact with your sport coordinator, begin to plan out how many miles we think should be allocated on a weekly basis to help manage the budget. And then once the plan is submitted and approved, we would be able to begin providing service, whether we're matching you with a dedicated driver or onboarding you with the Uber and Lyft service. So yeah, and yeah, our aim is just to make the process as easy as possible for you.
All right. Are you statewide?
Yes, we are.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yep, for all three services.
Excellent. Okay, sorry about that. All right. We're going to go to the next provider, who is Wheelin to go. Is Michelle here?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you for having me, Laura. Just gonna not take up too much of your time. We've been in business for 7 years now. It was founded in early 2019. I am not the owner, I'm the office manager. We primarily serve Burlington, Camden, and Gloucester counties. We're open 6 days a week from about 7 in the morning till 7 at night. We do not operate on Sundays. We complete probably about 1,200 rides every week. All of our drivers are vetted. They must pass 2 background checks. The way the process works is if you're interested in using our service, you simply go to our website, wheelintogo.com, click on Contact Us, and then you fill out the form that appears. And that form, once you submit it, comes directly to me. And we will get back to you if it's something that we can accommodate. We will be in touch with you and with your support coordinator. We send an estimate to your support coordinator so they know how many miles have to be added to your plan every week. As the previous gentleman was saying, if you don't use your miles, let's just say hypothetically you have 50 miles a week in your plan, and you're sick 1 week and you don't go anywhere, those 50 miles roll over until the expiration date of your ISP. Once your ISP expires, all units for all services, not just transportation, are lost. So that is definitely to keep in mind. So they roll over up until the expiration date of your plan. See what else. We are not an on-demand ride service. So if you're looking for something similar to like an Uber or a Lyft, we would not be the best fit for that need. All of our rides must be pre-scheduled. And at this point, we're primarily doing recurring, regularly scheduled rides. We're not doing rides to doctor's appointments, supermarkets, running errands, those types of things. I did tell Laura, and I think it's on the slide.
Yeah.
Yes, at this point, the only requests that are being processed for DDD individuals at this moment is just the 8 programs and job sites that you see listed there. Ability Solutions, All In Together, Interactive Kids, Kingsway, Life Steps, OTC in Berlin and Burlington, and the TOPS program in Cherry Hill. We do transport wheelchair-bound individuals, but right now we do not have any availability. We're trying to get additional wheelchair vehicles. It is no easy task. So if anyone out there has one or is upgrading and you're looking to sell the one you have, please reach out to us. We're very interested. So while we do provide transportation to a small handful of wheelchair-bound individuals, we are not accepting any new wheelchair requests for that reason or other vehicles. I think that is about it. I would say one thing, I mean, I want to stay in my lane, but one thing I would just tell everyone out there, if they're new to DDD, if they have a child or a family member, or just a loved one that's new to all of this, do your homework. Make sure you're going with a support coordination agency that you've researched and that you've talked to other individuals. Because I will tell you, we drive hundreds of people across South Jersey, and I interact daily with dozens of support coordination agencies, and there's a small few that I would use if I had a family member with a disability. So just do your research. It's super important that you're working with a support coordinator and an agency that really understands the ins and outs, knows what they're doing, and is going to be on the ball with your services, renewing them in a timely manner, making sure they don't expire. So, yep, that's about it. Thanks, Laura.
Sure. Thank you, Michelle. That's great advice. And if you want to reach out to me, I can make recommendations on support coordination. I'll likewise see that some are top quality. All right. Hopefully we have someone from ZipRide. Maybe Haley, are you here?
I'm here.
Great. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. All right, bear with me 1 second. Okay, my name is Haley Schaefer. I'm the vice president of ZipRide. I am the one that handles most of our billing and our mileage. We do have 3 other employees that work with us that all handle different aspects of our transportation services. A lot of things that go into transportation include things like the personal onboarding, which is basically walking families and individuals through how to work the Uber and Lyft apps, also how to create an account if need be, if they're brand new. And then what we do is basically become the payment method on the apps. So we do provide all of that information. We also provide the troubleshooting steps if need be, but also offer personal troubleshooting if there's any app issues, if individuals have issues with drivers, if there's discrepancies in the charges that they see on the app. We do offer those things to kind of try and be the middle person between the families, the individual, and the Uber and Lyft apps. We do not work directly for Uber and Lyft. We're just the payee, but we are lucky enough to have our own representatives for each company. So we do have a leg up when it comes to support. We do offer a lot of security features as far as the rides go, as like basically not us ourselves, but the Uber and Lyft apps have these security features on them where parents and guardians would be able to follow the rides for the individuals. We also make sure that we have an open line of communication between the individuals, parents, guardians, and support coordinators because we are all a team to make sure that the transportation goes smoothly. We also offer parents and guardians and also DSPs if need be, group home managers, the ability to link the ZipRide payment method on the apps as well, either as a backup or to delegate the rides for the individuals. We do have some individuals that require larger vehicles or they like the options of a comfort vehicle for Uber and Lyft. So we do make sure that that is something that is available for them. There's no restrictions as far as the days or times that rides can be ordered. We also have the ability to communicate with the drivers if need be, but we unfortunately do not have any wave vehicles, which is the wheelchair accessible vehicles. Those are only available in major cities right now. We do have an emergency text line that's open 24/7 that goes directly to me in case of an emergency. We never ever let anyone get stranded if someone's app isn't working. If we aren't able to get in touch with the driver, we'll be able to secure a ride for them on our own personal side of things. And we also make sure that individuals, parents, guardians know how to put in complaints about drivers. That's a big thing that a lot of people are not familiar with. That plays an essential role in their comfort as far as transportation goes, because the complaint side of things allows the driver to not be matched again to the client. Because unfortunately, we do not know these drivers personally. We haven't vetted them. It's Uber and Lyft's responsibility. But thankfully, in the 6 years that I've been doing this, we have not run into many of those types of situations, I will say. And that's about it.
That's excellent. You know, I'm very afraid that prior to just now, I wasn't sharing my screen properly. So I'm going to just go back to the previous two screens so that you can take down the information on the contact here. Our first presenter was Reliant Care Transport. That was Nathan, and this is his email and phone. Maybe you can put that in the chat also.
Absolutely.
Our second presenter was Wheelin to Go. That was Michelle. This is the list of destinations that she is able to schedule. It's a scheduled service. Her information is down here on the bottom. We would ask you to put that in the chat also, Michelle. And the last speaker that you just heard was Haley from ZipRide. Hopefully you can all see this at this point. And it's an Uber and Lyft service. My own son uses this. We've had nothing but good experiences. I'm sure all the services tonight that you're learning about are good. They wouldn't be DDD approved and they wouldn't be in business for as long as they've been in business if they weren't vetted and good. So I want to just speak to the customer service of ZipRide. It's almost instantaneous and it's very responsive. If anything is confusing or, you know, you have questions, they're there to answer, as I'm sure the other services are also. All right, so next up is Excellent Transcare Transportation. This company is the one who got me thinking about this webinar and offering this to you. So I want to thank you for that. Do I have Alyssa or Ashley here?
Yes, hi. Thank you again for that amazing introduction.
Sure.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you for having us again. We are also known as SJSL Specialty Transport. We are New Jersey-based provider who We do transportation for the whole state, north all the way to south. We are transitioning into an onboard outreach, a nonprofit organization, to where both of the companies, Excellent Transcare and Specialty Transport, are going to be merged into one. Like I said, is going to be a nonprofit organization. While our name is still evolving, our mission remains the same, supporting individuals with IDDD and their families in a safe, reliable, and coordinate way. We do provide two core services, which a lot of people already know by now, but it's transportation and also support brokerage. On the transportation side, we are a DDD approved provider using our own drivers. Unfortunately, we don't use Uber or Lyft. We do vet our own hires and train our drivers directly, including doing intensive background checks, doing a lot of training, even with wheelchair training. We have our own instructor on site where he does monthly checkups on all the drivers to make sure that they are getting the proper training that they need, to make sure that they're staying up to date with their training as well. We do provide door-to-door service, and obviously including wheelchair accessible vehicles. Drivers assist individuals safely in and out their vehicles to their designated spots, which could be support work, day programs, community outings, and approved activities. Pickups and drop-offs operate within scheduled windows, and mileage is based on DDD authorization. We are open 7 days a week, actually, including holidays, just because you never know when somebody's going to need transportation. And we found out usually weekends, a lot of people are needing that transportation.
Could you please mute yourself? Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. So, again, like I said, we are open 7 days a week, including holidays. We also are actually in the process of developing our own in-house app, which allows clients and families to track their drivers in real time, communicate directly through the platform, and give drivers and staff a centralized way to stay connected. Even though our clients do call the office and they might text our phones, we like to pretty much bring it above that to give them real-time updates and location statuses. On our support brokerage side, we also help families manage services beyond paperwork and transportation. This is all DDD funded also. That includes assistance with Medicaid renewals, SNAP benefits, SSI guidance, hiring and managing DSP workers, SDE workers as well, and coordinating natural support training services. We pretty much just help ensure budgets and compliance stay on track because because of DDD rules, we can't offer support brokerage and transportation services. So this is something that we are definitely more interested in, because with these other transportation companies in this chat right now, we can definitely connect with them when we have a client through our support brokerage side to help them also gain a client through transportation. So we pretty much just help families coordinate transportation through trusted providers when needed. Our overall role is to bridge the gap between benefits, services, and real life needs, keeping everything compliant, organized, and stress-free as possible for families. And that's pretty much it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I know about that conflict, and we have to be careful as providers not to provide conflicting services that aren't allowed. So I appreciate you saying that. Yeah.
Of course.
So thank you to our presenters. We have one last presenter, and that's from Access Link. Larky of Access Link will present her own slides. She'll be allowed a 15-minute time slot as a public service. And then after that, we'll go to the moderated questions that were submitted ahead of time. I'll stop sharing my screen. All right. I'll check the chat to see what you guys are talking about. Okay, so the chat does indeed have our presenters contact information. I would strongly suggest that you take that down if you're participating in this webinar, because if we don't get to your question, we'll definitely urge you to contact each of these presenters on your own. Okay, Larky, would you like to start presenting?
Yes, thank you, Laura. Good
No
evening,
problem.
everyone. Once again, my name is Larky, and I'm here from New Jersey Transit and Access Link to inform you of the services that we provide. With New Jersey Transit, we do have all modes of transportation which are accessible for those with some form of disability. With the regular local New Jersey Transit bus, they do provide lift and kneeling features. The trains provides the bridge plate gaps on the platform. Our light rail system includes Hudson, Bergen, Newark, Riverline, and these are all level boarding between the train and the platform. All of these modes of transportation have announcements, the eliminating signs, as well as priority seating. And the buses also can support wheelchairs or scooters as well. For Access Link, there is a process when applying. For the certification process, you can call in to have a packet mailed or sent via email to review over the service that is provided. Once you've done that, then you would just call in to set up an over the phone interview, and you will also be advised to have your doctor call or fax over in full detail how your disability prevents you from using the regular bus. Once that is completed, it can take at least up to 21 days to determine the status via mail or email. Anyone that is approved for using Access Link services will receive a reduced fare card, which can be used on all of our public transportation modes, and that allows them to have 50% off their fare. Once they are approved for Access Link services, anytime anyone is traveling out of state, they're capable of utilizing paratransit in any other state. So they will have visitations. They would just need to just call ahead. If you know you have plans for a vacation, you just call ahead before traveling. Access Link, we are considered public transportation. It's a shared ride service. We're from origin to destination, which must be at least 3/4 of a mile around a local bus route on either side. We offer a 30-minute window as well as appointment time booking. Passengers can reserve 7 days in advance via phone from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Or they can use the digital reservation form. We also have our website and our app, as well as the virtual assistant, which doing it by the virtual assistant and the app and the website, you will have to just have your frequent trips stored to your profile, or when booking on the website or online, you can use our common locations. Passengers are also able to travel with up to 2 people. We consider one as their companion, which the companion would pay the same fare that the customer pays. And if they are PCA certified, which is a personal care attendant, that could be anyone, they would actually travel for free. Each time someone has a ride reserved, they will receive a reminder call the night before, as well as on the day of service. And that call can be made via phone or text message, and it's usually 10 minutes prior to the driver's arrival. Customers are also allowed to get subscription reservations, which allows them to be able to have their rides booked automatically without having to call or go online to schedule. They do ask to see at least a 30-day period of trips that have been booked in order to apply for a subscription. And if it's not available at the time that you do call to request that, then you'll just basically be put on a waiting list for that. Access Link has payment options where customers can pay cash when they board our vehicles. However, they do have to have exact change. We also have Easy Wallet now, which allows customers to be able to prepay their trips in advance. They would just need to have a debit card, a credit card, or a prepaid card, and the minimum to set that up with is $10 and up to $250. And again, that's available on our app or our website. And anytime customers need assistance, they can always call customer service for that as well. We now also have our pilot program, and that consists of Lyft, Uber, Via, Userve, and First Alt services. To qualify for that service, customers would just have to have their Easy Wallet in good standing and at least a minimum of 24 trips within the last 6 months. Customers also that have the Rider's Choice program are also receiving vouchers, which consist of 10 Lyft and 10 Uber, and these vouchers are worth up to $20, and they can travel utilizing that from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. However, they do follow our Access Link program. So as long as Access Link can take them there, then the Uber and Lyft can do the same as well. We also now have in place our no-show policy. We do ask that riders cancel their trip at least 2 hours or more before your scheduled pickup window. Our cancellations can be done via the website, our mobile app, as well as with the live agent, which our phone number is 973-491-4224. Option 3, or they can cancel via email, which is adacancel@njtransit.com. Also, our telephone IVR system, which again is the 973-491-4224. And they also have the option that when they get the reminder call the night before, they can cancel through Alice as well. And I believe that is it.
Great. Oh, wow. Thank you. That was a lot of great information. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out if I could enable all of your cameras here because I feel like it's weird that I can't see you. But I want to encourage you, if you're a presenter and you're able to enable your camera, please do so. We're going to move into the moderated questions portion. And I'll go back to my PowerPoint slides and share those with you. Hopefully you can see these. All right, the first question was, does Wheelin to Go run on Sundays? And Michelle, I know you already told me that they do not.
No, we no longer do Sundays.
Okay. And sometimes that's a concern, you know, people might have places to go.
Mm-hmm.
Which transportation providers accommodate wheelchairs? I know Wheelin to Go has limited capacity for that right now.
Yeah.
How about Reliant Care?
At the moment, we do not.
How about ZipRide? I don't think so, right?
No, unfortunately, Wave vehicles are only in major cities for Uber and Lyft.
Yeah, okay, I thought that's what you said. And Excellent Transcare?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we have a yes from Excellent Transcare. All right. And of course, Access Link would be a yes.
Correct.
Okay. Can you include the wait list and drop off time windows when discussing each option? All right. Does Reliant Care have a waiting list?
So I was trying to understand this question specifically. I believe this would relate more so to our dedicated driver service,
Right.
where we do create a schedule with our drivers to pick up and drop off the individuals. So I would say we do have a window, but that's determined with the client, their family, and the support coordinator as we're putting the plan together.
Okay. And Wheelin to Go is more of a ride share service. Do you have a waiting list right now, Michelle?
For those 8 programs that we mentioned that were on the slide, those
Mhm.
requests are being processed immediately. We do have a wait list if they're requesting a different drop-off location.
A
But those
different
8,
location.
yeah, those 8 are, yeah, can usually be processed right away.
All right. And as far as a pick-off, drop-off time, do you have, a time window?
We're usually shooting for 15 minutes before or after.
Okay. Is there a waiting list for ZipRide?
No, there's not.
All right. And the drop-off, the pickup and drop-off would just be depending on the rideshare service.
Right. Yeah, that would be basically whatever the client would put in the app.
Yeah, I mean, that depends on whether there's a car nearby where you are, how long you're waiting. I know my son gets picked up from Voorhees at a work location, and sometimes he's waiting, 15 minutes. All right. How about Excellent Transcare? Do you have a wait list right now?
So we do not have a wait list right now. We are currently having open availabilities, and our pickup and drop off windows usually are that 15-minute period.
Okay, 15 minutes seems to be kind of industry standard here. And then Access Link, is there a waiting list to access the service?
No, it's just the process of applying for the service. But the pickup and drop off time, that can possibly vary because everyone's shared ride time, depending on where they're being picked up from and being dropped off at, can vary.
Okay. Yeah, and I know that, we've heard different things about Access Link's pickup window. I know that's something that they're working on and trying to get better. I know that they use a kind of a computer system to maximize the routes for the different riders, and they try and shorten that window when they can. I know that from going to a statewide meeting about Access Link. So, I wouldn't assume that it's, as long as you've heard. All right, next question. Are out-of-state trips to and New York City with Uber allowed? So out of state, Reliant Care, what would you say?
So with trips out of state to New York City specifically, it is a case by case basis. So we could just run through some cost estimates to see if it would make sense budget wise. And just to touch on the previous question regarding the wait list, because I don't think I answered that clearly. We do not have a wait list. We are currently accepting clients.
Oh, excellent. Okay. What would you say about Wheelin to Go and going into New York City, Michelle? I guess no,
Not
right?
at this time.
No.
That is something we have done
No.
previously. Those
Mhm.
types of rides were on a case by case basis, but at this point, we probably wouldn't commit to something like that.
No. Okay. How about ZipRide would a trip you probably doesn't matter, does it? Except for the budget?
Exactly. Yeah. The only
Mhm.
time that it would be an issue is if the cost of the rides are exceeding the rate per mile by a large extent, which does sometimes happen dependent on where they're traveling. But that's something, again, case by case.
So Haley, it would be the rate per mile, not necessarily the number of miles.
Right. Yeah. Like I have some
Okay.
people that live, 5 miles away from the city, and they'll go into the city and it can cost anywhere between $20 and $30 just to go 5 miles. So it really, pardon me, really depends on how it pans out. But for the most part, we don't really have many issues. The tolls may be something that could throw off the budget as far as the budget does not pay for tolls. We do. So
Mhm.
that comes into the total cost. And then I don't know if this is all the time or not, but the black car tax is a new thing for Uber.
Oh,
But I have seen it on some and not on others. So I'm still trying to figure that whole thing out.
yeah.
It's not a lot. It's like a couple dollars, but I'm still curious
Uh,
as to what it is.
yeah, that's weird. Okay, and excellent transcare. What would you say about trips to New York City?
So for trips to New York City, we would take them. Like I said before, we don't do Uber, so it would come out of their budget. We would just make sure that they had enough units
Mhm.
to go up to New York City. But yeah, that's something that we actually do. We take clients out of state sometimes when they want to
Okay.
go other places. Yes.
And how about Access Link, Larky? Would you go out of state?
Unfortunately, no, we don't take customers to New York City. Uber shuttles access link rules. So what we can do is though sometimes we'll take customers to the George Washington Bridge, the Jersey side though.
Oh, okay. How
And then
about
they
that?
will possibly make arrangements with accessoride
Yes,
services.
yes.
Yes, because they have the visitation, so they would just contact accessoride services.
Drop them off in like a city or a town that would be before that bridge, like Hoboken or something like that, Weehawken.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And I know there's a ferry that goes across from there too. Okay, the next one's very subjective. Is ZipRide a reliable form of transportation for my son? I can tell you from personal experience, yes, because it's as reliable as ride shares are. We've had, very, very rare occasion, like maybe once, where, you know, because of weather, the ride share, the Uber never showed, or couldn't find him because his workplace is an absolute maze of roads, and there was one driver that got lost. But I would say reliable as reliable can be. Yes. Would you like to add to that, Haley?
Thank you, Laura. I
No,
appreciate you.
sure, sure.
So we as a company, I would say, are reliable as far as, being able to be there for our individuals, families, and support coordinators. Uber and Lyft, like I said, are their own entities. There are individuals that sometimes, like Laura explained, have issues with getting picked up. And that could be sometimes people that are in apartment buildings or places that it might be kind of hard for a driver to find. And in that case, we usually explain that it's better to put in pickup notes so that way a driver can find you. But also, there are some cases where a driver will cancel last minute, or the app glitches, things like that do happen. It's not something that we can predict, unfortunately, but it should be something that is fixable as far as the app is supposed to find a new driver once a driver cancels. If the app is glitching, that could be a little more difficult. And when I mentioned that, I mentioned sometimes you notice that originally your pickup time was 5:30. Now all of a sudden it's 5:40, then it's getting to 5:50. That's an app glitch. So in that case, that's when you would cancel the ride on your end and then order the ride. And to me, not that it's not reliable, it's just something that is unfortunately possible to happen. So that's just something that unfortunately is out of everyone's control. It's just something that needs to be known. And that's something that we do go over during our onboarding process.
Yes. And the onboarding process, like you can ask as many questions as you need to get that payer portion of the app onto ZipRide, so that, each ride is being paid correctly through the budget and not through your personal funds. All right, we're going to move on. How do you calculate miles when using Uber and Lyft? Is there a boarding fee? Do you provide an assigned staff to individuals? Are you enrolled with Acumen? All right, let's just pick one. let's, calculating miles, that's pretty straightforward. The support coordinators always look at the budget and they tell you in very clear terms what the budget will support, what you can afford for your individual through their budget. It's an expensive service, $3.50 a mile. For instance, Andrew uses it 12 miles round trip to his job from Collingswood to Voorhees. It's a substantial chunk of his budget. Luckily, he has the budget, he can support that to get to his job 4 days a week. After that, he uses it occasionally for other things. So there's always a cushion in there. So they'll calculate, necessary miles to get to a job, to go to a recreational activity, to do recurring appointments, maybe a doctor's appointment, wherever you envision your individual needs to go. That's what you would need to sit down with your support coordinator and decide that. And then take a hard look at the budget and whether they can afford it. Otherwise, you're going to pay out of pocket, which is a possibility too. You can load multiple payment methods on those apps. One can be, ZipRide, and the other one can be your personal debit card. So, your person will never be left stranded. The most interesting question here is there a boarding fee? And I've seen all kinds of crazy fees with Uber. I don't know if other services have those. Is there anyone who would like to jump in on that? Any of our presenters?
Yeah, I could answer that question. So technically Uber and Lyft, on the total fare that they charge on a ride, there is a boarding fee, but in terms of as a transportation provider, we just bill on a per mile basis. So we account for that in the rate that we do assign on a per mile basis.
Okay. All right. So as a provider, you set a rate, and that's going to encompass the boarding fee. Does anyone else want to chime in?
Wheelin to Go does not have a boarding fee. We have a flat per mile rate. It doesn't fluctuate. I know Uber and Lyft, sometimes the rate can fluctuate depending on time of day, various circumstances, but the estimate, the invoice that we send to your support coordinator is exactly what we will be billing. There's no hidden fees or anything like that.
All right. Let's move on. Do you provide an assigned staff to individuals? Why don't we start with you, Michelle?
What do you mean, an assigned staff?
An assigned staff, in other words, like would my son have a dedicated driver?
Oh, the same driver all the time?
Yes.
No, definitely not. I tell people, you'll probably start to see the same 3 or 4 faces over and over again, but no, I would never promise the same driver all the time. But definitely after a few weeks, like I said, you'll see some familiar faces for sure.
How about you, Larky? What would you say to that?
The same. You won't
Yeah.
have the same driver all the time.
Mm.
Here and there you might, but no, not all the time.
Okay. How about you, Excellent Transcare?
So for us, most likely you will have the same driver. Occasionally you might get somebody different, but if you were to get somebody different, we always notify you at least 2 days to a day beforehand. But we always do say it can be up to 3 different faces, but we do try to stick with one person.
Okay. Does anyone else want to chime in there?
Yes. This is Nathaniel from Reliant Care Transport.
Yeah.
For our dedicated driver service, you would be expecting the same driver every day. Only time that it would switch is if they called in sick or had an emergency, but 9 times out of 10 it would be the same driver.
Yeah, and if you have the kind of individual that needs that consistency, maybe that would be a big plus for you. You know, and if your individual is not that type of person and might even look forward to meeting different people, that wouldn't be an issue. Are you enrolled with Acumen? Acumen, for those of you who don't know, is our fiscal intermediary for the state of New Jersey through DDD. All payments are for goods and services providers are funneled through Acumen. So the mechanics of Acumen is that as a caregiver, you would go into their portal and you have to approve the weekly miles through your provider. So there is, you know, a step there where if you don't approve the invoice, then your provider doesn't get paid. So that's a crucial step with Acumen. I know that all of our providers here are goods and services providers. If you're not, please say something. Except for Access Link. I know that you know, you provide your service with a different funding stream.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Are aids provided? I did hear you say, Larky, that a PCA could ride for free. Do you mean you said it was a personal care assistant, right?
That is correct. Yes, they just would have to,
Mhm.
when they go through the certification process, or once they are approved and things may change with their health, they can always call back and speak to someone in certification, letting them know that they do need someone to travel with them at all times when they do travel. And again, that's what we call a PCA, which is a personal care assistant. And that could be anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be a nurse. It could be a family member, a friend, or whomever.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's something you need to disclose in your application. Do any of our other services allow aids?
Wheelin to Go does not provide aids, but we do have individuals who are accompanied by their own aid.
And you allow that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Same for ZipRide as well, up to 3 other people in the vehicle.
Wow. Okay. Good to
Yeah.
know.
And
And
same for
so
Reliant Care Transport. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
How about you, Excellent Transcare?
So yes, we also we provide aids, and we also let aids come along as well, non-clinical aids.
And Reliant Care?
We do not provide aids, but aids and family members can ride with the clients as well.
Okay. So they're not provided, they're allowed. Okay. Next question, does your transportation company pick up at the family home? We'll say yes to that. I really don't think that we would be talking about anything else here except for ride share. Sometimes with the Uber and Lyft services, it's the nearest cross street or where it's safe to pick up an individual.
Oh, why?
Could you please mute?
Thank you.
What are the limitations that the company cannot do for the adult with DD? I'm not sure what that means. What is your company capable of doing for the adult? Do you provide personal service for the client, helping and assisting them? Okay, I think this gets back to the aid issue. I really do. If your individual requires an aid, that's something you would have to provide, or they would have to fund that through their own budget. That person assisting them would have to accompany them on the ride and provide that kind of assistance. Our services do not provide those. All right.
Laura,
Yes. Mhm.
sorry, it's Haley
That's
from
okay.
ZipRide. This is actually a question I do get often, especially for our individuals. We have some that have fold-up wheelchairs, and we also have some that have walkers or canes,
Okay.
or just some kind of mobility issues. The with Uber and Lyft, it's really dependent on the driver and it's not guaranteed. And for me personally, if it was, you know, my child, I would not recommend Uber and Lyft for individuals with mobility issues because the drivers, it could be a liability issue, them getting in and out of the vehicle. They also sometimes are not going to help you with the fold up wheelchair. And those are things that really should be considered when using Uber and Lyft.
Good point. Good point. Mm-hmm.
And if I could just add to that too, Laura,
Mm-hmm.
it's same recommendation. We do provide Uber and Lyft, but again, these are just drivers driving their own personal vehicles, so they may not assist customers the way our Access Link drivers do. Our Access Link drivers will assist on and off the vehicle.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Right. That's a big
And
plus.
yeah, and if I could add something as well, on our dedicated drivers side of the business, our drivers do assist, like provide light assistance, whether it's helping fold up a wheelchair or a walker for any of the clients that they're providing service to.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that they wouldn't, but
Mhm.
I get it. I get it. If it's a personal vehicle, they may or may not. Okay. So the next one is about safety and vetting of drivers. Okay. So I'm not familiar with how Uber and Lyft vet their drivers. How about we go through each of you and you can speak to that? Reliant Care?
Yes, so all of our drivers are required to go through DDD required vetting process, whether it's the criminal background check, criminal background history check, as well as a safe driving, like no points, abstract motor vehicle report check as well.
And Wheelin to go?
Yes, our drivers are all vetted. They have to pass 2 background checks. I don't do this personally. The owner does it, so I can't give you the specifics, but I know we run our own. Our insurance company runs another. And the process is fairly stringent. I will tell you a large majority of applicants, we do not hire. Most of our drivers have been with us for several years.
I know it's part of the background check, Michelle, that they need to have 5 points or less than 5 points.
All I know, the owner has said to me, even if they pass, the background check that we run, which is, the criminal background check and all of that, the insurance obviously is more focused on their driving record. And it has become so strict that he told me recently, if someone applies and they had a speeding ticket 4 or 5 years ago, they're rejecting them. It's incredible.
Wow.
Yes. Very, very stringent right now.
And what do you know about this topic, Haley?
So Uber and Lyft have different companies that they use for drivers. Lyft uses something called Checker, and Uber actually goes through a national database, which is a little bit, I would say, more stringent as far as the things that they look for as disqualifiers. But they do MVR, criminal history, and that's any felonies, violent crimes, sexual offenses, and obviously serious offenses, and also anything DUI. And then I think they also look at traffic violations, anything from minor to major. And they are the ones that, if a major comes up, if a minor comes up, then they do get suspended. The driver gets suspended upon review. And if the review goes through, then they can get their privilege back. And both Uber and Lyft do this annually, which is something to think about because that's 12 months between the checks.
Oh, boy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So something could happen, like say 6 months in, and
exactly.
they're still driving for 6 months after that.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's something to consider. Do you have
Yes.
anything? Would you like to add something, Alyssa or Ashley?
Yes. Yep. So actually, when we vet our drivers, we pretty much we do background checks, we do fingerprints, we do drug screenings. We actually make them also do a child abuse background screening as well. So that way we could get all the information possible from each of our drivers to make sure that they are very safe on the road. We also do our own training just to make sure that they are capable of driving safely on the road. And also the insurance would have to pass them as well.
Let me ask you this, as part of your training, do they learn specifically how to drive a van?
So, yep. So part of our training, you would have to know how to drive a van, a wheelchair van also, and a regular sedan.
Gotcha. And how about you, Larky? What would you say about the safety and vetting and training of your drivers?
So all of our drivers are actually contracted with our service providers. I do know that they are vetted. I just can't say exactly how much they are vetted because again, they are hired through the service providers and they go through training and everything, and they're shadowed by a trainee as well throughout that time period.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, we're going to move on to the next set of questions. Are support coordinators supposed to help individuals figure out transportation issues? How about, what would you say to this, Michelle, since you had kind of a opinion about support coordination?
I guess I should probably stay in my lane here because I'm not a support coordinator. But yes, my opinion is that a good support coordinator is going to, recommend services that, they have history with, that they have other individuals that are using that service. I sure hope so. I mean, if I was a family member of one of these individuals and working with the support coordinator, I'm assuming they have expertise and input and are going to point me in the right direction. That's why it's so important to be with the support coordination agency that, I I don't
Yes.
recommend any, but if anybody's interested, like I said, I have about 4 or 5. If I were a relative of one of these individuals, I would go with one of these 4 or 5. But if you're with the right agency, it makes all the difference in the world, and they're going to help you navigate all of this. Whereas
And I
if you're
think
not with the right agency, you are on your own.
we can tell from just this webinar that there are a lot of choices that may or may not be appropriate for some individuals. And really you need help navigating those choices. And
Absolutely.
that is what the support coordinators and support brokers are supposed to do. So, would you say that's part of your support brokerage, Ashley?
Oh, that would be us. But yes,
Yeah.
yep. So we would actually help find transportation for our clients through the
Mhm.
support brokerage side.
Are you able to get reviews on these companies? That again, I would say is support coordinators have a caseload of individuals, and they probably have more than one who's using these services and might be able to tell you about other families' experiences. Would any of you like to speak about reviews or testimonials?
Sure. This is Nathaniel from Reliant Care Transport. Um, a lot of times, actually, when we do have a family member or like parent or guardian reach out, they sometimes do request testimonials, just to hear from other parents, or clients that we're providing service for. So we do, either share some that we have on our website or some that we just have collected over the time. I guess that's probably the best way to answer about reviews, I would say, for us.
Uh-huh. It's great.
I would recommend also Facebook is big. There's a lot of groups as far as parents and guardians go that discuss different companies. and vendors, not just transportation, but other vendors as well, which I think is extremely helpful.
Is this Haley?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. I just want to make sure. Okay. So yeah. How does this system work? Okay, I'm just gonna pick one of you. Let's just pick Wheelin to go, say.
Okay.
Michelle. How can you walk us through the process of kind of calling
Sure.
you for the first
I'll walk
time?
you through what my understanding of it, and I'll try to
Okay.
be brief. I mean, they'll fill out the NJCAT, that comprehensive assessment tool. You know, that's evaluating an individual's needs, and it's assigning that individual to a tier, and that tier determines the annual budget and the services. You know, the services have to work within that budget. So after they're eligible for the DDD services, they choose a support coordination agency, which we've already talked about that briefly. And if you determine that you need transportation, like I said, do your research, talk to other families who have, individuals in this community, this population of individuals. For our service, like I said, you would go to our website, fill out the request form. I send an estimate and then an invoice to your support coordinator, and then he or she adds it to your plan. That process usually takes a couple weeks. Some support coordination agencies can self-approve, some cannot. So if they self-approve, the turnaround time's a little faster, but it's never that long. It's usually a couple weeks. And once it's approved, they send us an SDR, which stands for a service detail report. Once I get that approved SDR and the individual has successfully registered with Acumen, that is new, as all of you know, this past year, I then reach out to the family. I make my first phone call. I review our service. I ask them if they have any questions. I ask them about the individual. Is there anything we should know? We are able to put notes in each ride for the driver. So if the individual is visually impaired or has mobility issues, the driver knows that. The driver is working through an app. She can see all of that. You know, I ask them, is there anything tricky about the pickup location or the drop-off location? All of that goes in the notes. Once we determine which days you need your rides, if it's one way or round trip, it's scheduled. It's in our system as a standing order through the expiration date of your plan. You do not need to keep scheduling rides week to week. All you have to do is remember to cancel. And I say this when I reach out to people, we go over all of these things. So once your rides are in the system, you don't have to think about it. Only if, you get sick or you're going on vacation and don't need the ride, you just need to remember to cancel. And that's really it. For our company, I'm the point of contact for everybody. Everybody knows me. I'm very, very close to our families. I have hardly any faces to put with the names because it's all over email and phone. But we're a family here. And I feel very close to our people. But yes, it's just me. If you go with Wheelin to go, we'll get to know each other. And if you have any questions, just reach out. Email's the best way to get me.
Okay, thank you. We'll ask one other provider. How about Excellent Transcare? Once a new family contacts you, what happens after that?
So pretty much once a new family contacts us regarding transportation, we automatically ask them if they are set up with a support coordinator. If not, we do help them find one of our most reliable coordinators. And then once that happens, we usually figure out and go over the times, the dates, how many days they need throughout the week. And just pretty much getting all the information about the client, whether the client, likes no noise versus music, or do they prefer the driver to talk to them? Do they prefer silence, the window open? Like, we ask all the little questions that might seem annoying, but it benefits the client at the end of the day. And we pretty much just grab a whole detail of how the ride's going to be. Sometimes we even can let them know who the driver will be during that time period as well. And then after we get all that information, we pretty much create an invoice for the support coordinator, and we contact the support coordinator, send over the email, and then we pretty much just wait for them to say, hey, like this is good enough to start transportation. Or sometimes you might have to wait because they might have to get the approval because they can't do it themselves. So it's pretty much just a waiting game, but we like to get everything on the road pretty much, and get the clients up and ready for transportation ASAP. So we try everything in our power to make sure everything's going smoothly. And we even check up with the families, even when we're waiting for the approval. We just always keep them updated on everything that's going on, no matter what. And just like Michelle said, all you have to do is call and cancel your ride. You don't have to worry about calling every day to set up a new ride for the next day. All you have to worry about is calling us to let us know, hey, we're not making it in tomorrow, or we're not making it in today.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I can tell you that ZipRide has an excellent onboarding process for their new families. They guide you through that system of understanding how Uber and Lyft works on your phone. So I am going to ask you, Nathaniel, how does your organization manage transportation mileage that rolls over toward the end of the service year? I don't think it rolls over from a service year, does it?
So it's the rollover miles last until their plan renews. So at the end of their service plan, that's when the rollover miles are essentially when they're invalid to continue to be used.
It's like use it or lose it by that service year end date.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. It can get pretty confusing. Does your company notify the users, the individuals and the families if they're running out or what their utilization is from week to week?
Absolutely. So on a weekly basis, on Mondays, we send out weekly reports, essentially highlighting how many miles were used the previous week, and what that cost, as well as we keep track of if they did not use all their miles that week. We keep track of their rollover miles. So for two reasons, if someone ever wants to know if they have extra miles, we could just they send us a text or give us a call or an email, and we let them know. As well as sometimes when we're making the plan with the sport coordinator, there could be someone might expect to be using, let's say, 150 miles a week, but they're really only using 80. So over time, there's a lot of miles that accumulate. So in theory, what we do recommend sometimes is lowering the amount of miles moving forward, so they have more room in their budget for other activities. So that's another use case of just being able to track how many miles are being used on a week-to-week basis. And if they are your last question, if they are approaching their weekly mileage limit, say it's Wednesday and they have like 10 miles left, we do send out alerts. We try to send out alerts around like 75% utilization rate. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. How about, would you like to speak to that, Haley? How do you notify the families and the individual about the utilization?
So what we do on our end is we have weekly mileage updates that we send out to all of the clients, and we copy the parents, guardians, any DSPs and the support coordinators on the same email, so that way they know what the available mileage is for the week. That can also let them know if they do need to decrease or if they need to increase, but also they can always reach out to us and we can discuss it with them as well. We just recently implemented a 50% warning, a 75% warning, and a 100% warning. So it will go out to the same people, letting them know that they only have that much left. We're working on getting an actual number instead of a percent, but because of the amount of data that we work with, because we're now at over 3,000 people, so it's a lot of data to kind of sift through. But we figured that was easier to start with is the 50, 75, and 100 to kind of put up those flags and say, pump the brakes a little bit. And we also have open communication, obviously, with the support coordinators as far as when it's time for the plan renewals, that we do let them know that either the person will need to increase, decrease, or stay the same.
And I like what you did there about pump the brakes.
Yeah.
All right. All joking aside, I feel like, we're almost at time. So I want to open it up to questions in the chat. If you have a question that you would like to ask, you can post it and I'll read it off. Laura Grant's asking, when do we get the slides? So what's going to happen is my director of marketing will take this recording and the slides, post them on our website. I can also email the slides to you if you would like. I did not, type up answers to the questions, but if you find that helpful, I will definitely do that. I can do that tomorrow. Any other questions? Or you can unmute yourself. Hopefully I didn't make the settings too stringent where you can't unmute yourself. Okay, I don't really see any questions. Do any of our presenters have anything they would like to add before we end our meeting? I would really like to thank everyone for attending. I think that this was really worthwhile to help us all understand a little bit better how the transportation services work. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties at the beginning. And you'll be getting a little gift from me, all of you panelists, in the mail. So keep a lookout for that. I want to, thank you for just patiently answering all of our questions, all of the, this is a very individualized service. I'd like to encourage all of the participants on this webinar to please reach out specifically to each of these services and ask more questions to find out if the service is appropriate for your specific situation. We didn't get to all of the submitted questions. I apologize about that, but we are almost at time. Oh, hold on. I have some more messages. Okay. All right. I guess that's about it. All right. Well, thank you again for everybody coming on to this webinar. And if you have any questions for me, I'll type my email address in the chat. It's l.gaffney@durandac.org. Durand is a full-service DDD Medicaid provider. We have 3 day programs in Gloucester, Camden, and Burlington counties. We have 10 group homes. My service is an in-home service or community-based service. I can hire parents, I can hire relatives, I can hire friends that pass our vetted service. Please contact me for more information regarding that. And also keep an eye out for more of these webinars on topics of interest. If you have a topic that you would like me to cover, please reach out and suggest it, because I'm always looking for interesting topics on relevant information that you're looking for. I'm here for you. Okay. So, let me know what you're interested in. All right. Thank you, Nathaniel, Michelle, Haley, Ashley, and Larky for your time.
Thank you.
You're
Absolutely.
welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
good
Have a
care.
great night.
You too.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, hello.
Make sure you're offline before you start talking.
You had your hand up. Did you have a question?
No, I'm sorry. That was in the beginning when you were we couldn't hear you. We wanted you to see the handwritten.
Oh, excellent. Thank you for letting me
Yeah.
know. Mhm.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. That was a great presentation.
No, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Laura? Okay,
Yes.
Sheila. I
Yes.
wanted to ask you where your son works because I live in Voorhees.
Do you really? Okay.
Yes,
What's your
yes.
name?
My name is Marjorie Gold.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
So he's in the kitchen. He works as a utility worker in
Uh-huh.
the kitchens of Lionsgate Assisted Living.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Oh, he loves it. He's been there for
Oh,
10 years.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, thank you. Mhm.
Yeah, I
He's
go to light skate a lot.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
are you a volunteer or do you visit or
No, I visit.
Mhm.
I have girlfriends that have parents there. And believe it or not, I used to work with senior citizens, and a lot of the
Mhm.
senior citizens that are independent living, they live there. So I used to go and pick them up, and I used to take them out into the community and go get their hair done and all that.
Oh, that's great. I know
Yeah,
he loves
yeah.
seniors.
Oh,
So
that's
it
wonderful.
really, yeah, he's close with his grandparents and everything. They don't live there, but
Uh-huh.
I feel like it's a good fit for him, and he
Uh-huh.
has seen them through three different chefs, and
Uh-huh.
he's had longevity, and they treat him well. So he
Right.
has a job coach, but at this point, it's only a once a month check-in because
Right.
he knows
Right.
his job. Yeah, it's mostly,
Yeah.
washing the pots, but he also
Yeah.
wheels the meals to the seniors. So yeah, it's a good
Uh-huh.
job.
It is. That's
Yeah.
great. That's
Mhm.
wonderful. Very
Yeah,
nice.
thank you. So
Uh,
do you have a
okay.
son or a daughter?
I do. I don't actually. Believe it or not, I work at the JCC. I work at the JCC, and I became friends with a woman. Her name is Lori
Oh,
Fuller.
oh,
Do you
Lori, yeah, Filer.
Filer? Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Uh-huh.
Yes. So Lori comes in all the time,
Right.
and she was the one who gave me the information on the transportation.
Okay.
So
Okay. Uh-huh.
I wanted to get on it.
Yeah.
I'm a support coordinator.
Are you? Okay.
I am.
Okay. That's
I am.
great.
So I wanted to go onto the webinar because I wanted to get some information,
Hmm.
which, was absolutely wonderful to get all this information.
It's interesting, wasn't it? There really are differences between
Absolutely.
the services. I learned something.
Yes. Yes. Me too. I did too. I learned a lot,
Mhm.
and it was definitely informative. Yes. So I wrote
That's
down,
good.
took notes. I'm sorry?
Well, now that you attended this one, you'll get on my my list to advertise for
Good.
future webinars
Good.
too. So
Good.
hopefully, we can add to everyone's knowledge base. And I thought it was
True.
interesting what people were saying about support coordination. Like they're really looking for some guidance from you, you know?
Yes, yes.
So,
Well,
yeah.
I gotta be honest with you. Um, I do, I do have a couple clients that go to Wheeling to go.
Mhm.
And I'm the type of person, you know, I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm sorry, I've been in special needs for a very long time. I was in the school district for a very long time. And I just recently got out of it. And about 4 years ago, I started doing support coordination.
Okay. Mhm.
So when you say love my families, I love my families.
Oh,
So
yes.
I will do anything that I possibly can do to help any of my families with anything as far as their activities and transportation and any other vendor service that they do. So yes, so with that said, you know, I love what I do and I love my families and
Yes.
I definitely, and I'm sure you know my boss is I work for Kim Monaco.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Yeah,
Kim's
yeah,
wonderful. Yeah. Well, you're
yeah.
in
I
good
work with
hands.
yes, yes, and
Mhm.
it is a
Mhm.
learning curve. I can be honest with you. It's a learning curve.
Mhm.
It's a lot of information, but I love it so much, and I think my piece. I'm 58 years old. I'm not 22, but so my piece is the social piece. My
Right.
piece is the love,
Yes.
like I can tell with
Yes.
you the love
Mhm.
for the families, the love for the mothers, the
Right.
love for the fathers, and the loves for the clients, you know,
That's right. That's
and
right.
it's all good,
Mhm.
and it's all good. So,
Mhm.
so that's it. So that's it. All right.
That's
Anyway,
wonderful. Okay.
yeah, so it was great talking to you, and yes, definitely send me as much information as possible, and I'd
Mhm.
love to get onto all these webinars to learn more.
Yeah, I sure will. It's nice to meet you.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay, take care.
All
Thank you
right.
so
Bye-bye.
much. Bye bye.
Mhm. Bye-bye. Oh. Can I get rid of this person? How do I? How do I get rid of? I leave her. Three dots.